Om Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye. So we will chant the third stanza of Sri Vishnu Sahasranama, and we're going to see today the second part of the third stanza. Yogo Yoga Vidam Neta Pradhana Puruṣeshvaraha nārasiṁhavapuḥ śrīmān keśavaḥ puruṣōttamaḥ. So the 21st word in this series of names is nārasiṁhavapuḥ, literally meaning the one with the body of a man and a lion. So as you all know, this is referring to Lord Vishnu's incarnation, avatara, as nārasiṁhavatara, which is half man, half lion. All these avatars, the divine incarnations, their janma or their life is called divya janma, which means they're not born out of karma like normal human beings. All jivas come into existence because of karmic reactions of the past, but they don't descend on earth because of karma. They come to achieve a particular purpose, and at many times it is to protect those who are devoted to that particular form. So how is the avatar born? The avatar is born due to the fructification of the karma palam of all the jivas' prayers. So a collective prayer of all the jivas, all individuals, go to make the avatar, make the Lord come down into this planet as well. And this Lord has the Maya under his control. He's not deluded by his own magic. He is not born ignorant. He knows everything. He knows the magic because he is the magician. So there's no problem there. He doesn't get deluded as well. And Lord Vishnu, because he is Sthiti Karta, he is the one who is shown as the one who incarnates, who takes avatars. Sthiti Karta means the one who sustains this universe. So his role is to protect the dharma, to protect righteousness when there is decline in the world. We see this in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, a very important verse. And a few reasons are given in that chapter for the incarnation of the Lord. The first one, paritranaya sadhunam, for the protection of those who follow dharma, who live an ethical life, and vinashaya cha dushkritan, to destroy the people who are given to adharma or unethical lifestyle, who go against values. And another reason he gives, dharma samstapanarthaya, to establish the dharma again in this world. Lord is born, takes incarnation. So in this incarnation, Narasimha, Lord Narasimha, it is based on a story, very famous story from the Bhagavata Purana, which is the story of Prahalada, an asura who was born, he was a son of the demon Hiranyakashipu, very, very powerful and proud demon who conquered the 3 worlds, but his ego was huge. That is the whole thing, the idea that his ego, although he was great and powerful, was huge. And the Lord was prayed to because he wanted to teach him a lesson as well. But Hiranyakashipu had done so much tapas, he had been given very special boons. And what were these boons? That he should die neither inside nor outside the house. He should die neither during the day nor in the night, neither in the earth, on the earth, or in space, neither at the hands of a human being nor an animal, neither by a wet nor a dry weapon. And these were all the conditions. These boons were granted to him, and he thought he was invincible. He thought this boon is going to make him totally invincible. In fact, when we hear this boon, we think he will be invincible, but the Lord got around this boon. That's the amazing thing. The form that the Lord Vishnu took, it went around this boon, and he managed to kill this Hiranyakashipu. So with this story, what is the rest of the story? He had this son Prahalada, who was very devoted to Lord Vishnu, Narayana. He always used to chant Harinama, Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. His mind was totally on Narayana, the Lord. But the law in that kingdom was that Hiranyakashipu's name had to be chanted alone. He wanted his name because ego. I am the emperor, I am the king. My name should be repeated. But Prahalada, his own son, he could not get to change and repeat his name. So the father forbade his son from chanting Narayana's name. Prahalada refused. He could not, because he was a devotee of Lord Vishnu. He could not. And he was punished in many, many different ways. And all the time, Lord Vishnu protected him. So he escaped all those punishments. And finally, Hiranyakashipu, out of frustration, he wanted to kill the child himself. And he finally said, where is this Lord Narayana? You keep talking about, you keep chanting about, where is this Lord? And Prahalada's reply was, he is everywhere. He's in everything. He's in everyone. That was his vision. And that is what protected him. His vision protected him. And Hiranyakashipu got even more irritated. He said, is he in this pillar? And he hit that pillar. And just as he hit the pillar, the Lord took the form of this man-lion form. He came out in the form of a nārasiṁha, which was neither that of an animal nor that of a human being. He had the head of a lion and the body of a human being. The time he came from the pillar was neither day nor the night, but twilight, just before the night set in. He sat at the threshold of the door. He was neither inside nor outside. And he placed Hiranyakashipu on his lap because Hiranyakashipu's boon was he should not die in space or on the ground. So the Lord placed him on his lap, and his other condition, he should not use any weapons. Therefore, the Lord used his own nails to kill Hiranyakashipu. So this is the story, and this is what an avatara's role is. When avatara comes down, avatara is there to bless the devotees, and this is what this story says, and that is why nārasiṁhavapuḥ śrīmān vapuhu means the body. This form of Lord Vishnu came to protect the devotee. So the next name in the series, the 22nd name, śrīmān. Śrīmān comes in the Vishnu Sahasranama a few times actually. It means the one who has Lakshmi. Shri is Lakshmi. Śrīmān, Śrīmat means the one who possesses Lakshmi. But we add that extra, where does he possess it? There is a location for Lakshmi. It is on his chest, in his heart, actually. And we know Shri is the goddess of wealth. The permanent home for Shri is Lord Vishnu's heart. That is why he's called Śrīmān. Shri and the possessor of Shri, very interestingly, Shri and the possessor of Shri are non-separate. Shri is the powerful, Shri is the power, and śrīmān is the powerful. How can the powerful and the power be separate? They are non-separate. So the power resides within the powerful. That is why he's called Śrīmān. And all wealth, what does it show? That all wealth belongs to Bhagavan, Lord Vishnu. We saw in this idea in the Shat Bhagas, the sixfold form of wealth. This Shri also has a symbolic meaning. The symbolic meaning is that he is the Lord of the Ahankara, because it's very interesting when we talk about the I, the very source of I, of course, is pure consciousness, the Lord. But we always point to the heart area. When you say, I did it, I have done this, I see. We never say I, right, and point to the head. Nobody's, unless you're a bit off, you never point to the head and say I, which shows actually already you know there is a location for this I, this ahankara, this ego. And if Lord, the goddess Lakshmi resides in the Lord's heart, what this word is saying is that Shri, the goddess, and the Lord are one within the heart. She is required for sustaining this world, just as he is required. The power is also required for sustenance of this world. But they both are there in the heart area, the source of the I, of the ahankara. And so Shri, goddess Lakshmi, is there for sustaining the world. And you'll see also in this idea in Ashta Lakshmi, the eightfold form of goddess Lakshmi. You see the first form of goddess Lakshmi, Adi Lakshmi, which is mainly, it means the primeval Lakshmi, or the first Lakshmi, which is the power of sustenance. from which everything has come. Lakshmi is a divine principle. We need that for sustaining the earth as well. The next form of Lakshmi is Dhanya Lakshmi. You might have heard of Dhanya Lakshmi. This is the Lakshmi that most people like, this form of Lakshmi, which means literally money Lakshmi, financial Lakshmi, goddess of wealth. This is the facet of Lakshmi that most people enjoy, most people want to gain. But we have other facets of Lakshmi in the Ashta Lakshmi series. Dhanya Lakshmi, she is also the goddess of agricultural wealth. She gives dhanya, grains. She produces all this produce that is also a form of wealth. And that is also required for sustenance of this world. So Dhanya Lakshmi is another form of Shri. Gaja Lakshmi, the one with who is depicted as with elephants, next to her. You may have seen the pictures of Gaja Lakshmi. So she's also the giver of animal wealth. Animal wealth in those days always went with kings, went with royalty. So that type of Shri also is needed for sustaining this world. And of course, Santana Lakshmi, she is the giver of progeny, the wealth. Progeny is also considered wealth, because when we have progeny, our lineage continues and also the wealth continues. So she is also the Shri for bestowing the children to people. She is also Virya Lakshmi, Dhairya Lakshmi, another form of Shri, the valor, the courage that is needed to face all the challenges in our life. She depicts that power as well, that is needed for us to carry on our lives, to sustain us through all the challenges that we're facing, especially during this coronavirus time. Virya Lakshmi, Dhairya Lakshmi also bestows the courage and the valor for overcoming difficulties. She is Vijaya Lakshmi. So she gives the courage, she gives the valor, but she also gives victory. Victory over all the unpleasantness that one has to face, all the enemies that maybe are in one's life, or something unpleasant. Vijaya Lakshmi or Jaya Lakshmi, also for conquering her hurdles in her life. She gives that success, anything successful. Vijaya Lakshmi, Jaya Lakshmi. And the last form of Lakshmi is the Vidya Lakshmi, very important. This is the knowledge Lakshmi, which is very close to the form of Saraswati as well. So she even looks, this depiction of Lakshmi or Shri looks like Saraswati. Shri is also knowledge. Knowledge is power, right? So she's a bestower of all types of knowledge, of arts and sciences, as well as Vidya Lakshmi. And what this name says is that Lord Vishnu, as śrīmān, possesses all these powers in full measure. He is the possessor of all these powers. So this is śrīmān, the name śrīmān. Now the 23rd name is Keshavaha. Keshavaha is very, very popular name. Literally it means the one with beautiful hair, Keshavaha. But Adi Shankara, of course, gives a lot more meanings to the word Keshavaha with this name. He says, Abhirupaha Keshaha Yasyasaha Keshavaha. The first meaning is the meaning I just gave, the one who has beautiful locks of hair. Now, the Lord, any Lord depicted with a form, with attributes, will always be described as one with beauty, one with goodness. So this beautiful form, we always relate to beauty in life. To worship somebody, to have their image in our mind, it is very alluring, very enticing when that image is shown as beautiful. That is why we always, all our gods have beautiful eyes. If you've seen, beautiful hair, everything, all their features are perfect, all the gods, because it is very easy for us to relate to beauty. We want beauty. Beauty is something we look for. So that is why Keshavaha helps us visualize a very beautiful form of Lord Vishnu. And another meaning Adi Shankara gives is Kashcha Ashcha Ishashcha Keshaha, which means that Ka stands for Brahmaji, A stands for Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, and Isha stands for Lord Shiva. So within this word Keshavaha is all the Trinity. The whole Trinity is there contained in the word Keshavaha with this meaning. There's a very beautiful Sanskrit Subhashitam, you may have heard it. Akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskaram Keshavam pratigacchati. We had learnt this, I think, a few months before. This is very beautiful Subhashitam. As the water falls down in rain anywhere and from the sky, and it finally reaches the ocean, the worship of any divine aspect, any god that you worship, finally reaches Keshavaha. So the meaning of this Keshavaha comes in this word, that all the Trinity, any worship of any deity you do, reaches the one Keshava, the Lord Vishnu, in this word. Also another meaning he gives is Keshi Vadhat Va Keshavaha. Keshi was a demon, an asura called Keshi. So Keshavaha, Lord Vishnu is known as Keshavaha. Krishna, actually, in the form of Krishna, destroyed this demon Keshi. So that is why Lord Krishna is also called Keshavaha. And it's symbolic again of destroying all the demonic tendencies of the mind. So these demons aren't anything outside. They're all within, inside us. And the Lord is the one. We seek his help through chanting of these names. What happens? He purifies us from within. He destroys all the negative tendencies, all those negative patterns of thinking. Keshavaha, removing all of those. Another very beautiful name. Now, the last name in the stanza is the 24th name in the series, puruṣōttamaḥ. Puruṣōttamaḥ is actually a compound word in Sanskrit. It is technical as well. We're not going into technical details. Very briefly, I will say, basically it means the most exalted one. He is the foremost one. Purushaha, uttamaha, two words together. So nothing compares to this Lord. Basically, that is what this word is trying to say, this name. Nothing can compare to the Lord. He is uttama. He is foremost. Nobody can reach the state he is in. He doesn't belong to any category. You cannot put him in any place. Because if you remember, in the previous names, we saw a word, Purushaha. If you remember, for Lord Vishnu, there was a description of that word, Puranat Sadanat Va Purushaha, which meant he pervades everything and resides also within everything. That was the name, one of the meanings given for the word Purushaha. And here, if he pervades everything, if he lives in anything, how can you place him in any category? That is why he is called Uttamaha. Uttamaha means he is the basis for everything in this world, in this universe. He sustains everything in this universe, and nothing can come close. All names and forms and functions are swallowed by puruṣōttamaḥ. Lord Vishnu is all there is. So puruṣōttamaḥ means nothing there in this world to match him. Nothing is there to touch him. He is a different order of reality. He is the manifest in this world. He is also the unmanifest in the world, the things that are yet to manifest. He is also that. puruṣōttamaḥ, another very beautiful word for Lord Vishnu. So with that, we finish our third stanza. And in the next session, we will see stanza number 4.